Android phone from a few years ago with Android version God knows who. Smells kind of funny too. And then we have the 2016 not so funny smelling iPhone SE with iOS 14. That never fails to blow my mind. So yes, I've been using iOS 14 beta on the OG iPhone SE for a few weeks now just to see how it performs, since this is the oldest device that's supported alongside the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. Now, I remember the days when iOS updates absolutely slaughtered older iPhones. One that comes to mind is, of course, the legendary iPhone 4S on iOS 9, and that one still haunts me till this day. But now in 2020, one can use an iPhone from 2016 and run the latest version of iOS that's for the most part frustration-free. In fact, comparing this to my iPhone 11, day-to-day performance is actually very similar. They both launch apps at very comparable speeds, but the general UI experience is also just as fluid. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that is genuinely amazing. I mean, this is a 2016 smartphone and it's keeping up with a 2019 flagship. And it seems that this phone is genuinely a little snappier than it was on iOS 13. Primarily, I've seen that launching the camera seems to be a little faster on iOS 14, which is really nice to see, especially since a lot of older smartphones usually struggle with that. Another really surprising thing is that this 4-inch smartphone gets all the bells and whistles of iOS 14. Widgets, picture-in-picture, the smaller core screen, the whole lot. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought it'd be kind of pointless to have widgets on, like, you know, such a small phone. But to my surprise, it genuinely isn't that bad. On the topic of widgets though, I do want to mention one quick thing, and that is, they're not as good as I thought they'd be. Now yes, I can hear the people saying, Saran, you should be grateful for what Apple has finally given you. The great Timothy has blessed you with this amazing feature you've always wanted, so why are you complaining now? Well, it's my channel, so I can rant whenever I like. And my biggest issue with these widgets is that I wish they could do more. Now yes, I know they show you information and that's great and all, but I wish I could also interact with them. Especially with, for example, the Apple Music widget. Right now, it shows you the song you're listening to at that moment, but it would be nice to maybe, you know, pause the track or skip the track once in a while. Not only that, but why the hell does the Tips app have a bloody widget? And the funny thing is that not every app has a widget, so they selectively chose the Tips app to have a widget, and I'm just sitting here confused as to why developers would spend actual time making such a pointless widget. Anyways, rant over, back to the SE. The only feature that seems to be missing on the iPhone SE is the double tap accessibility feature. To be honest, I'm not too bummed out by its absence since I've tried it on my 11 and it's pretty glitchy. I mean, it doesn't really work half the time and sometimes it just accidentally triggers for no absolute reason. Though to be fair, this is an accessibility feature, so for people with disabilities who need to rely on features like this, it could be a deal breaker that it's not here. And the bad news doesn't end there, because there are a few small caveats with iOS 14 on this small guy. And we begin with battery life and how terrible it is. This is single-handedly the biggest issue with iOS 14 on the iPhone SE, and there's not really any other way to put this other than the fact it is just abysmal. I've been getting around 1 hour to 1.5 hours of screen on time, and that is not good. That is just all kinds of bad. And this is not even with considerably heavy usage. I am, for the most part, just doing the usual. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, Snapchat, the cheeky web browsing, if you know what I mean. And boom! The battery just goes kaput out of nowhere. Now, I know this is a beta and you shouldn't expect battery life to be spectacular, but the fact that the SE cell was incredibly tiny in the first place leads me to believe that the final build won't be that much better. And to kinda make things worse, this phone gets unbearably hot. I don't really understand why it gets hot, it just randomly starts heating up for no absolute reason. So it's probably best to wear oven mitts with this guy just in case it decides to do a cheeky Note 7. I'm joking, it won't blow up, okay, trust me. It's probably just some bug that needs sorting and it will probably get fixed very soon. So to conclude, iOS 14 on 2015 hardware actually runs incredibly well. This is one of the reasons I love Apple products. It's the value they bring to the table. Just imagine buying an iPhone SE at launch at $399 and 5 years later, it still functions incredibly well. I mean, that is mind-blowing stuff. Now, it is very likely that this will be the last update the iPhone SE gets, and that's not really a bad thing since iOS 14 has given it so many feature upgrades. This isn't some security patch that was supposed to come out months ago. This is a proper update that's honestly made the phone better in some ways. So if you're looking for the cheapest way to get into the world of iOS, the SE is probably your best bet since you could find these for as cheap as $50. And if you're willing to put up with the small screen and the terrible battery life, the SE can be a passable daily driver. So yeah, overall, great stuff, Apple. And on that note, I end it here. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you, peeps.
Word at the end thingy is boom. Put it in the comments, people. Thank you.